Hey, all, I just want to share something with you. I think us men have a problem. Words like vulnerability scare the crap out of us, don't they? That word is not a guy's word, right? We are so afraid to share emotion, to listen to somebody who's sharing emotion, and it can be a real problem for us. But here's what I realized when I was young, when I was just a boy, it wasn't wrong or hard for me to be vulnerable, to share that I was scared, to share that I felt weak in an area of my life. But something happened later where that turned off. I began to feel scared to say that I was scared. I began to feel that it was weak to be vulnerable, especially with other men. And I've often thought about why is that? Because I know for a fact that I and so many of my male counterparts have not been able to express emotion because from the moment we were kids, we were told that that is weakness. How many of you have been told, stop your crying or I'll give you something to cry about? I heard that I don't know how many times in my life. And at some point, we start believing that it's wrong to cry, it's wrong to feel scared, it's wrong to feel weak. But the truth is, it's not weakness to admit where you're really at. True weakness, I would say, is just giving up and quitting on something completely, especially on your loved ones, because you're so scared that you're not even willing to fight for them. You're not even willing to keep going when it gets tough. True strength is putting one foot in front of the other, even while you're weak, even while you're scared, but admitting that and being vulnerable in the process to those that love you, that is also strength because that's being honest with who you are and where you're at. And here's the super awesome good news about that. God says that when you're weak, he is strong. So you don't have to fill the gap. I don't know why you still believe that you have to fill the gap between where you think you should be and where you actually are. But God, the perfect dad, the one who won't tell you to shut up and be quiet or he'll give you something to cry about, the one who's going to stand there and hold you while you cry, that God is still there. And he says, I'm going to fill the gap between where you are and where you want to be. So, can you trust that? Can you learn to trust that kind of love in your life from your wife, from your kids, from your friends, from the ones that say they love you? Can you open your heart again? My fellow man, can you open your heart again to receive that kind of love in your life? It's been hard for me. I'm not saying it as a person who doesn't understand what it's like to feel weak, to admit these things, to say them out loud in public. But the truth is, as long as we as men continue to hold back from being honest and truthful about who we are and where we are, and we keep seeing ourselves as weak, and I'm aware that certain subcultures in this country, at least in the US, have a harder time with being vulnerable than other cultures. I'm aware of that. So if you're the one that struggles, I'm talking to you, right? I am a person who's learned to open up and share that stuff. And I don't feel weaker. I don't feel like I've been set back. I feel like I'm being set free. And I want others like me to be set free, to learn to receive love again, like when we were young, like when we were kids, when everything in life was exciting. I want that for you, right? And it's a journey, it's a process. Like every other life transition, there's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs. Some days are harder than others. But if you'll let love in again, if you'll be vulnerable again, not only will you see breakthroughs in your life, but in your relationships and the others' lives that you love, because you're setting an example. The world needs men who can set an example, who can be honest and open about who they are and where they are. They don't need posers. They don't need pretenders. They don't need people to fake. The world's full of people that fake it till they make it. What sets you and I apart is we're going to be the ones that are honest and open and transparent about who we are. And then we're going to keep putting one foot in front of the other and showing them what true strength looks like. So join me in the endeavor. Remember to lead well, live on purpose, and honor God with your life.